Hey, good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to our weekend Q&A. I'm going to turn on the chat, and I think that see, I can chat with everyone. All right, so the chat is turned on, and let me see. Let me turn on I think I've only got one slide here. So, all right, so I think I've got my slide. That's the only slide I'm gonna have. So if you have questions that you want me to take a shot at, thank you, Jim. Please write a question there in the box. And thank you, Jim. And just so that you'll know, we did release Expertise Monetization Volume 2. I don't have the Ultimate Insider link listed here, but it is in the Ultimate Insider member area. And you can get the link there and use your insider discount. If not, you can certainly use this link if you're going to be purchasing via Warrior Plus. All right, so any questions, I'll take them. I try to get you all out of here in 30 minutes. This is not, I don't want to keep you here all night. Uh, and so it's really just a time where I can, try to tackle your strategy questions, whether and it doesn't have to be about PLR. It can be about anything. And one thing that you probably have seen recently is that there is I think that a lot more people are sort of getting into the craze for GPTs. And so we'll kind of see where that goes. I mean, we taught that um, in our Chat GPT Extended how to do that. Um, I think that the jury is still out in terms of monetization and how you're going to do it. I think if you can be creative and put it into your existing business model, I know that there are people who are building a business around that, and we'll just have to see whether or not that's something that you can build around totally. I don't know that I think that it's something that you're going to be able to build around, but we'll see, right? But certainly, if you have a list, certainly if you have a subscriber list and you're looking to serve your customers in a new way, it's a great way of being able to do something like, put together an assessment. And if you can, if you've got some scientific data that you can put together, it's probably very difficult prior to being able to use a tool like that to create something that looks like where somebody comes to your site and they, enter some details and you can kind of score them. You can give them some insight on how, how they can do things better according to your own philosophy, and you can customize it. So that one thing I sort of like about it. I just, it still feels a little bit, it's kind of transitory. So and I guess and the other thing is about all of these things is you never have to be first, right? So before you start investing, a lot of time and you're going to go down that road for your customer, you can kind of see if it's going to go that way and if it's going to work and if it's going to be proven. And they say that pioneers take arrows, so, let somebody else kind of go and be first if that's what's going to happen. And then if you see it and you see it's going to work, you see it's monetizable, then certainly you want to put it into, what it is that you're already doing. Okay, any questions? I think I can see any questions that you have. Any questions that you have, I'll be happy to take them. And as I said, my goal is always to get you out of here in 30 minutes. Any questions? I didn't prepare anything today. I will tell you that kind of the goal of being able to give you some courses on System.io is so that you can do it as an affiliate. And so for the rest of December, what we're going to be talking about is affiliate marketing. And I'm going to do a PLR course on affiliate marketing. I'm also going to be doing our Wednesday training, our Wednesday private training on affiliate marketing. That means then that I will offer that training to people who are not yet Ultimate Insiders, and I think that you will still be able to participate. It will be a paid, will be a paid course, but it will be available to you if you're not yet an Ultimate Insider. But our private insider training will next be on affiliate marketing, and I'm really just going to kind of teach that from my own perspective. And I'll tell you about some of the things that I think I've been able to make work. I'll tell you about some things that I could make better, work better. I'll tell you about some things that I think that if you do some of the things that I did, and you do some of the things I should have done, I think that whatever you're doing in affiliate marketing, I mean, you can certainly build what I think is continue to keep what I think is a good reputation among your people, and then at the same time though, have a good relationship with affiliates. Uh, and for the most part, that's not necessarily hard to do. It does mean then that you do want to make sure that, and I heard Dan Kennedy say this, and I agree with this, and I'm coming more and more to that to this position. I've done a lot fewer affiliate promotions this year, and it is because um, I think I want to kind of feel like I want to almost be rock solid certain that I think you ought to get something to the point where I'm willing to push the limits. And so sometimes I think, uh, if you don't have something that you kind of think, excuse me, people really gotta have, then you might pull back a little bit. And you want to make sure that if you're going to promote something as an affiliate, that even if you get zero sales, even if you even if the people don't respond to you, that you walk away from the promotion knowing, first of all, that maybe you pushed a little bit. Second of all, that you really do think that this is going to be beneficial. That's and you would think that that's easy to do. It's not always easy to do, especially in our industry. Now it's a little easier for me in a in a PLR market, because most of the people that we promote are other PLR vendors. I rarely, if ever, right, promote software, and there's a reason for that, and I've gone into great detail about that. And most recently, probably if you want to classify software, if you want to classify system as software, you could say that's a software promotion, but I don't really promote it. It's kind of like a passive, kind of like a passive link. But I think that whatever you're promoting, you ought to feel real good about. Okay, so let me see if I got any questions here. Okay, let's see if I have any questions. Okay, so it doesn't look like there are any questions this week, and like I said, um, I don't intend to keep you on here. It's really for you, and if you have a strategy related question, I did not prepare anything tonight to teach or to train. So if you have any questions, I'll take them, and if not, then I will let you go. I'll let you go early, right? And I don't know if I don't normally do that, but happy to do that this week. Any questions? See, any questions? All right. Well, folks, then look, I know it's been I think it's been what, like 8 minutes. Um, okay, no, there's no problem, Santu. Yeah, you don't have to. I'm sorry you're sick. Um, Pistons, right? It's all Pistons, not yeah, Pistons. Like your car has pistons, yeah. Yeah, pistol's a gun. But that works too, right? Um, okay, so Marie says you're just getting started. What's the best thing to get started with? Um, Tell me a little bit more about what you mean when you're just getting started. You're just getting started online. You're just getting started with PLR. Um, when you say you're just getting started, what do you mean? And then I can better. You've never sold PLR before. Okay, so am I correct in assuming, Marie, that you don't have a subscriber list? Is that a good assumption? You have a lot of online courses, but in a different niche. Okay. Um, can I ask what your niche is? Right. So what is your market? What is your niche? Okay. So you train career coaches. Okay. Um, so you train career coaches. Do you have do you have those career coaches on the subscriber list? I mean, do you have them on an email list? Okay, you do. Okay, well, good. Okay, so if you've got those people on a subscriber list, then when it comes to um, any PLR, and it doesn't matter what it is, I suggest that you design something and you wrap around PLR with something that your people are looking for. What are the coaches? So if I were to ask you right now, and you know your people, and you know your people better than probably anybody on this call, if I were to ask you of the people that you have on your subscriber list based on however you talk to them or listen to them or you've seen them online, what would you say are their top three concerns? Like what are what's really driving them right at this moment? So, what would you say if you had to list your top three concerns right now, right off the top of your head? What would you say they are? Oh no, and to answer your question, Santu, when I said something that Dan Kennedy said about marketing in general is you want to try to pick those things that you want to feel like if you have to push somebody, you feel good about pushing them because um, part of direct response, as you all know, if you listen to me any length of time, I have a love-hate relationship with direct response. But classic direct response says that most people don't like to make decisions. And so sometimes a true direct response marketer, and that's what we all are to some degree. Everybody who's on this call, everybody who's doing information marketing, internet marketing, however you came to this, you're doing some form of direct response. Classic direct response pushes people. And you might say, well, I don't push people. Well, if you put a countdown timer on your page, that's pushing somebody because you're saying to that person, well, you don't really have a good sense of whether or not you should make a decision. I'm going to put this clock on here to communicate to you that you've got X number of time left. When you say to someone, I'm going to make things scarce. So in other words, I'm going to pull this bonus. If you don't buy this thing, um, right now, then I'm gonna pull it. And so that's the definition of kind of pushing somebody. Um, so yeah, so it's less. Good question, Jim. Um, so indirect response, there probably is no such thing as indirect response. So direct response basically means then that we are making a direct pitch to someone and we expect them to make a decision based on our words or our presentation. And presentation broadly defined. It could be an advertisement, could be a video. It's we say you ought to buy this, and then we wait to see what their response is. And I guess if I were to say what indirect response is, that would be a branding advertisement. So in other words, that would be more like I show you, a car in the car industry. That would be like I show you luxury, and you kind of have this really indirect sort of trying to put it, put things into people's heads so that they will remember you. So, so yeah, so I would say that would be indirect. Direct response is what we do in our business in information marketing. You are a direct response marketer, because you make a direct appeal. You tell people you ought to buy this, right? You send them, whether it's an email, social media response, video, you're telling people, I think you should buy this. And then you wait to see their response. And so you're trying to see, do they say yes? Do they say no? Do they say maybe? Do they click the link? And so you're trying to determine based on their response, what should I do? So yeah, so that's a great question, Jim. I appreciate it. So that's how I would define direct response. Let me go back to Marie, and then I'm coming back to you, Russell. Um, okay, so their number one concern is using AI, building businesses, competing with AI. Great. Okay, so um, are you training these people, Renee? Are you teaching them on a regular basis? Are you doing some kind of um sort of interactive where you're teaching and training them? So that would be another question I would ask you. So are you training them on a regular basis? Now, do you do something like okay, so you have a membership and monthly webinars. Okay, good. But is that for your customers or is that for your entire community? Is that for everybody? So in other words, what do your do you train your prospects? Would be my question. Because to some degree, okay, so you go live weekly. Okay, good. So you've got some feedback, and so you know that the people who are on these calls, um, they're sort of telling you what it is that they're concerned about. And so what we have to do then is kind of in the same thing that I was just talking about when it comes to direct response. When it comes to PLR, here's my take on it. Um, you got to structure an offer to these people so that, let's use videos in particular. I would be every course that I would have a course in there explaining how to use Chat GPT. I would use our Claude course. Like I would put a course in there on how to use Claude in context. So the context is how to be a better coach. The context is how they're going to compete with AI, but you got to teach them about AI. So in other words, you're not going to lead with this is AI. You're not going to lead with Chat GPT, GPTs. You're not going to lead with that. Correct, exactly. So you're going to adapt to your audience and you're going to adapt the course. Um, you're going to adapt the course title and the course subject to your audience. That is exactly right. So you adapt to your audience based on what they're telling you. And so everything that you do, you should be beefing up, right? And I suggest, and everybody, and if you've listened to me any length of time over the years, I suggest that you don't redo videos. So don't waste your time trying to re-record videos. When you give people access to our videos, you put it inside the course. You say that we've hired this company to train you on Chat GPT, to train you on Claude, to train you on all these things. They're going to be in this part of my membership. And then, right, exactly. I'm your trainer. I'm your, whatever you want to, whatever you want to call it. We hire this dude. And so you are, but the offer though is based on what your people need. So you're wrapping around the PLR. So you wrap around it. You lead with what the need is, you add the PLR. And so when you add a video course, you should be able to ask for more. So if you tell people when it goes on your sales page, um, you've already got on there, you said, well, I've got this we've got ChatGPT in there, we've got Claude in there, we've got everything you need in order to execute whatever your strategy is, right? Okay, so let me come back to Russell. Okay, Russell says, okay, it works, or people, okay, what type of push works best? Okay, so you go back to classic direct. Okay, so classic direct response is you start with, and this is copywriting 101. So you start with a copywriting framework. And so I think that even before a person goes to, I know that the big thing now is to go get ChatGPT to write a sales letter for you and all that, but I think you should still understand, everybody should still understand direct response. And a direct response sales letter starts with a headline. And the headline is supposed to grab the person by the throat. It's supposed to stop them in what they're doing, and it's supposed to cause them to read or listen to the rest. So classic direct response interrupts that person. So you know that they've got all these other concerns. Well, they got their job, they've got all these other concerns that they are pondering about. And as a direct response marketer, you have to interrupt that. And so how do you get their attention? You get their attention with something like Midwestern housewife starts with $200 and turns it into 2,000 in 10 days. Some kind of headline, that gets their attention and stops them from thinking about the job, stops them from thinking about their kids, stops them from thinking about their spouse, stops them from thinking about the dog. It stops them, the headline. Next, right? Next is going to be, and again, this is now it's going to vary, but if you look at direct response marketing, the next is that you have to tell them that you have to show them that you empathize with them. You understand their situation. You got to connect with them. So you see some form of, I know you're, dear struggling marketer, or dear, happy housewife, or dear, aging boom, dear boomer, whatever it is, right? So you connect with them, you spend some time connecting with them, because this is where you kind of talk to who your audience is. So if you know that the audience of people that are going to be listening to you, again, direct response says, these people. So in other words, we're not talking to necessarily an audience of people that we don't know. We should have some idea who these people are. And so you start the headline, then you empathize with them. And then in a, let's say you use the problem, agitate, solve framework. And this is where copywriting frameworks are important. So the classic direct response problem, agitate, solve framework says, after I empathize, I state the problem. And part of my empathy is I outline the problem. And so I can't remember who the copywriter is, but he says that it could even be a she. I don't know. That if you can explain a person's problem better than they can explain it, if you convince them that you know their problem better than they know it, they will give you the opportunity to solve it. They'll even give you credit for solving it. So your direct response presentation has to be part of you becoming this like a doctor. So you're diagnosing, but you got to lead to that, right? You got to get their attention. You have to show you empathize with them, and you have to then state the problem so that they listen to you. It was Donald Miller who writes the book Building a Story Brand, and his mantra, the thing he repeats over and over again, is clarify your message so your customers will listen. Part of clarifying your message is you got to state the problem. And you got to state the problem so that they know you understand what it is. So they keep reading, they keep listening to you. Advanced concept here, right? And everybody who's on this call, I'm pretty sure you know this, but part of what, if you do email marketing, let's say the way everybody else does it, right? I quote Dan Kennedy a lot, but one of the things he says is that if everybody's doing one thing one way, you do it the opposite. So here's where I think you should be doing email marketing. You can take it or leave it. You want to take the direct response sales process and you want to structure your relationship in email marketing in that way. So in other words, part of your relationship building is getting people's attention. Part of your relationship building process in your emails is um, showing you have empathy, showing that you understand the problem. And so some of your emails, even though you're selling, don't necessarily sell the product today. Some of your emails, and Marie, I think this would be relevant to you also. Um, some of your emails are just demonstrating that you understand them. So you want people to have that in their head. And so if you're building this relationship ongoing, right, in your emails, you want people to even if they don't think of it consciously, you want them to know, well, hey, if nobody else knows what's going on in my business, I think this person does. I think this person understands, so they keep reading. So in other words, a classic direct response model says, I need to keep you reading a sales letter. If you take that and turn that into the email relationship, then you want people to keep reading your emails. And so you take the same concepts. And so you start with headline, right? Get people opening your emails. Some of your emails need to talk about the problems that they expend. Now you're not going to be able to touch on every problem every subscriber has, but if I'm on your list, at some point you need to be talking to me about my problem at some point. I'm not saying you'll be able to do it every email, but at some point you should be talking to me about mine so that I keep reading you. And then, if you move to then like a classic problem, agitate, solve model, you state what you think the problem is as your reader is experiencing it. Again, you're not going to hit on all, right? You're not going to hit on all of them, but over time, you should be able to hit on my problem, right? Just because you get to know. And again, we're talking about building an ongoing relationship with your subscriber list so that when you make a recommendation, they will trust you. And so you've got to earn that trust over time. And it takes, and again, all of that is direct response. That is where, as a direct response marketer, I resonate with direct response. Now, I don't necessarily vibe with all the tactics because as a trainer, I've got some other things that I'm more comfortable with, and I think you should be doing. But but direct response, if you take it and you place it within the email relationship, and you turn it on its side and you stretch it out, you should be touching on every aspect of the direct response relationship throughout your emails, right? Russell, that's probably a long-winded response to your question. Um, what type of push works best is you've got to have all of your flags kind of turned in the same direction. Headline, empathy, um, problem, and then the bullets, right? And everybody's heard this, so I'm preaching to the choir. I know you've heard this. You want to focus not on the features, you want to focus on the benefits. So in other words, you should be talking about how a product is going to change someone's life, how it's going to change their business. So they got to walk away understanding what the benefit is to them. And then, right, once you've done those things effectively, you then want to inject some kind of proof. So you should be pushing proof. So proof is scientific. In other words, and I'm not talking about social proof yet. I'm talking about proof. So proof is that the category of your product works. So let me try to explain this in the best way that I can. When I talk about proof, and let's say that what I am selling is something on I always talk about Facebook marketing, and I'm trying to teach you, let's say, how to do Facebook organic marketing. I've got to state, I've got to give you scientific proof from a third party if I can that Facebook organic does work. That if they could just understand that, hey, Facebook organic does all these things, and it's verified by a third party. So I'm not selling at that point. All I'm doing is telling you Facebook organic works. You don't have to trust me. Look at these experts. And those of us who grew up, right, in the advertising era, what is it? Four out of five dentists recommend, right? Whatever that is, it's scientific proof. So scientific proof. Then at some point, and probably throughout the sales letter, probably throughout your relationship, wherever it comes, it's social proof. In other words, here are these people, they're having this experience. Here are these people, they're getting the experience from what you're selling. So there's proof, there's social proof. And then there is the offer. So in other words, once I did all of that, I got to present the offer. And the offer is introducing the thing, the wonderful thing, the awesome thing, the properly named thing. And I could get into naming it, but this is a way to push people. But I got to get into the thing. So how do I push people in the thing? Well, I start talking about the features then, all of these cool things. But that comes after the benefits. So I've already told them how it's going to change their life, but then I start talking about all the stuff they're going to get. And I just stack it. And I talk about the value of it, talk about how much it would cost in the real world and all these other things. That's pushing people, right? So I talk about the thing, how much it's worth, if how much they'd have to go if they don't get this offer, they're going, if they're a chiropractor, your spine's going to fall out if you don't get it, that kind of thing. Okay, so after after I've talked about the thing, right? The thing, then I do something called and this is another way of pushing people. It's called negative optimism. So in other words, I say, I give people, and Ben Settle talks about this, and he's more articulate about this than I am. Talks about this in all of his writings, but you'll see it in a lot of people. And he's not the one that invented it, but he talks about it a lot. You got to have a place, and again, it's psychological. And I don't do this because I know I could do more of this, right? You've got to be at some point in your relationship, you got to be more negative about what it is they're about to buy than they are. Now, why would you do that? You're pushing them. So in other words, you're saying, okay, let's get all of it out up front. Let's put it all on the table. All right, we're going to put all of our cards on the table. Here's where it doesn't benefit you. Here's where it could cause you a problem. So in other words, you build in trust. You say to somebody, well, hey, it's not gonna wash your clothes. It's not going to bring your wife back. It's not going to do all these things. You say that. And so it's called negative optimism. And I think that was what's it? I can never remember his name. The guy who used the phrase. If you go look for negative optimism, you won't find it on the internet because there's only one guy that I know that said it. But it's the idea that at some point you put some negativity, because you put some negativity to let people know it's not perfect, but you're stating that up front. And it's not like negative to be a positive. You're just saying, well, hey, you know what? It's not going to do all these things. And that's what you want. You got to go someplace else. And then that's when you start getting into urgency, scarcity, more social proof. Some people, now I don't do this with PLR. Some people do. You can get into a guarantee. In other words, if you guarantee If they don't like it, no questions asked, that kind of thing. That's a little difficult for me to do with downloadable PLR, but I think that depending on what you're selling, you could offer a money back guarantee. And then the close, right? The close where you restate, right? When you restate everything and you show them the value of it, the dollar value, the life value, and you walk them through this process. And let's say you go to a ClickFunnels webinar, the last thing you're going to see is what they call the stack. That's direct response. So the last thing people need to see is, let's recap what you're getting. You're getting you're getting a Facebook marketing. And if you were to go out and you were to get that, that's about $200. If you're getting the Facebook, blah, 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 that would be $2,000. And then at the end, it's total value, $7 billion. And right, but you're not, but of course, you cross it out, and then they're going to pay $7, right? So that's the push, right? If I were to, that's the push, Russell, in 5 minutes. I probably took longer than 5 minutes, but that's how I would answer your question. Okay, so let me see what else I got here. Right. Okay, good. Right. Yep. Yeah, exactly. So you take the offer back. It's like, okay, well, you can't have it. Right? You can have it, you can't have it. Right? So I would say it's not like one thing that works best. You do them all, and really, and Jeff Walker talked about this in Product Launch Formula. You build your relationship that way. So in other words, if I'm on your subscriber list, I should have heard all of those steps. It doesn't matter what I'm buying. So I should be feeling all those things from you. And that's really where it comes back down to building trust and really promoting only those things that you believe in. Because if you're going to go through all that, you're really going to push somebody. And this is what I don't like about direct response. I don't want anybody making an emotional decision. Now I know, listen, I know I could probably sell more if I could just tell people they're going to get rich tomorrow, and I would get them to make a decision right now, right? For PLR. And I might need to I just don't do that. And I'm not saying you should not do it. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just saying that you can push somebody, you can push somebody to make a response on anything. You can push somebody to make a response on a fidget spinner. It doesn't matter, right? If you use direct response, it's gonna work because it's all psychological triggers. So that's at the moment. But I do think, though, that all of the direct response elements you should be doing in your email marketing every single day. So that you should have been talking about proof. You should have been talking about, you should have been building the fact that you understand their problems. You should be doing empathy. And so all of those things. Yeah, so it is part of the relationship building process to sell stuff, and especially for people who are not salespeople. So one of the things about direct response is that it is a textbook marketing and sales process, and it's it's kind of like it's like the devil you know and the devil you don't know. So, or it's like the one devil is like, you can be like the hardcore salesperson, right? Direct response allows you not to be a hardcore salesperson. So in other words, yes, it is probably some of it is going to be a little uncomfortable for some people. It's less uncomfortable if you build your relationship that way than if you just kind of, you're just going to be a hardcore salesperson, right? Because that works too. It's just I don't necessarily want people to buy stuff, excuse me, from me emotionally. I used to do that. Now, I will just tell you this. I did that. I didn't do it directly. I would use my own relationship to get to encourage people to buy software that I felt like could be beneficial. But then when they but here's what happened. They get to the software vendors page, and this is the number one reason why I really stopped promoting a lot of software. And you all probably see it because maybe I know you're getting sent there by any marketers list who you're on. I'm not saying they're doing a bad thing. I'm just saying this is why I don't do it. When you get to the sales page, you got all the you got all this stuff on the sales page. You got the cheesy marketing, you got the cheesy people, and they're like this, and they're they're doing this, like all those people on the sales page, and and all those things work on people. And so and so even if I don't use that method to get them to the sales page, if they get to the sales page and they're getting pushed and it's all kind of emotional, what I found is that people get in a frenzy, they buy stuff, and then all of those people start refunding. And so, even as an affiliate, it's a hassle because you can't really even count revenue. Because if somebody's really getting people kind of emotionally, I don't even, and this may be bad, I don't want to offend. If you're out there, you're watching, you say, well, please don't be offended if I don't promote your webinar. I don't like promoting webinars because I don't want people making a decision like that because eventually, sometimes they cool off and that money comes right back out my account. And so, so I said $500 commission because people were really excited. And then they, they cool off and they start thinking about it like, no, I don't think I want this. And so I just, again, I know people do it. I know it works. I know it's a great way to generate revenue. So I stopped promoting these things because I don't want to run my business that way. And I don't really want to even calculate cash flow that way. It is a hassle, right? It is a hassle to look at to look at X number and then know that the X number may or may not be staying with you. Yeah, and so Russell says always be selling. Yeah, you're always asking, every day, we're asking for the sale, right? And even if we're not asking for let's say a specific thing on that day, right? Um, we are preparing to ask for the sale, right? And so everything really depends on business model. So if if you're selling more of a coaching model, um, then it's really building trust, right? And so everything is still direct response, right? All the interactions, all the emails, all the stuff is really trust building, and then psychological triggers to get people to make a decision. But you're always selling. That is correct. I agree with you there, right? Good comment. Okay, any other questions? I appreciate you all asking good questions. I appreciate that. Any questions about let's see, 7:43? Yep, go right ahead. Santu, if you can hang on 1 second, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to need to just grab a drink of water so my voice doesn't fail, and I'll be right back. Hold on 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, I think my voice will be fine now. Okay, let's see. Uh, okay. Does organic positioning on posting on Facebook really work if you put a link in the event in the comments section? Takes the videos off the Facebook platform. Facebook gets angry that you are distracting them away from Facebook, and it won't show your post to as many people. It's worth the bother of spending hours doing it. Facebook's like any other platform, and it requires an investment of time. And I think that it's like everything else, right? I think that the organic strategy, as I understand, is to get people looking for your post. You would almost have to you'd almost have to, and again, it's going to be in concert with email and everything else you're doing, so that you're going to have to, uh, in my opinion, I think you got to get people. The word to use, I use the word trained, but you got to get people looking for your post. Now, there are some people who do over time, when Facebook figures out what you're doing is you're keeping other people on the platform with your posts, then they will reward you by giving you more, giving you more oxygen, if that's a word. So the key is really, can you keep other people on the platform? And so sometimes that means getting people engaged with something. And this is where it can be a little bit of a time suck, because so it's a balance, right? I think that, I mean, there's some people in, I mean, our PLR space who are excellent at it. Um, and what they basically do though is, I mean, they post about things, they get people interested in what they have to say, and they keep people on the platform. They keep people looking. And so Facebook will show their posts to more people. And so it's an overall strategy. So the post in and of itself is not so much just the issue all by itself. I think from a Facebook algorithm standpoint, what they want is for you to be on the platform, and they want you to keep other people on the platform. And however you do that, they want you to be keeping your followers on Facebook and reading your posts. And I think that I think the machine kind of recognizes that and gives you more traction as a result of that. So yeah, so if you'll see certain people, and I don't know that they're all doing it disingenuously. So I'm not saying they are. I'm saying that there's some people who are good at getting people to read their stuff on Facebook. Other people come and they read their stuff and they stay on Facebook. And so I'm guessing Facebook has all those scores. It's all done in real time and on the algorithm, all the other stuff. But I'm thinking that what the machine's trying to do is trying to figure out who's keeping these people on the platform so that we can serve them more ads. That's the person we want to reward. And so you would, and so when I say it takes an investment of time, it takes an investment of time to try to figure out all these people that you got following you. How do you get them to engage with you? Right. So engagement is important. How do you get them so that they stay on the platform? They're reading your posts. And so in the long run, I think people who do it well, it's worth it for them. I think that sometimes trying to get up to that point can be challenging now, right? To some degree, some people who have already established that relationship with people on that platform, and they post something and people go read it, that's kind of an established thing. Some of them have established that over years. But it's difficult to try to start now. But once it's established, then it can work very well. Okay, great question. All right, any other questions? Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. Russell Bean, I haven't seen you for a little bit. Good to see you. Good to see you back. All right, everybody. Well, thank you very much for hanging out with me here. I appreciate you all, and have a great weekend and play. Oh, and just as a reminder, Volume 2, Expertise Monetization, is now available, plrshow.com/new. And so with that, thank you very much. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.